Yo, what is good, YouTube? And welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're doing episode number 40 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' teams with the best teams possible for my team, unlimited competitive play, whatever you might be playing. Just help you get the best squad you possibly can. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily My Team content. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. First team today comes in from Daniel Rodriguez. Says this is his team, and then these are the extra cards that he has that he could add to his squad. I guess I kind of like that he gave me some reserves. He said he just got Tim Thomas as well. So this team, with what he's got right now, SGA, Paul George, Tim Thomas, KG, and Victor Wembanyama is a great starting lineup. Penny, Reggie Lewis, Scottie Pippen, McHale, and Chandler off that bench is not bad. But you have point guard Jokic. He should be playing over Penny Hardaway. I understand he doesn't have the SIGs that Penny has. He's got elite level size. Also, Mo Bamba is better than Kevin McHale in my opinion. I would be using Mo Bamba and Jokic. Jokic backup 1, Mo Bamba backup 4. Scottie Pippen backup 3 over Chris Webber as well, in my personal opinion. Backup 5 being Tyson Chandler, I think is totally fine. I don't really have any other issues with that. Honestly, when I look at the squad, I like it a lot. You could also, if you wanted to, I would probably throw Artis somewhere in your last 3 just so that you have one other big center option outside of Wemby in case you need it off the bench, in case you come up against somebody who's got a 7-4 starter and a 7-3 backup. You know what I mean? So it'd be nice to have somebody like Artis as an option in your last 3. But as a whole, I like this team. I think you just kind of have to swap out a couple cards that you do have. Like, for me, Mo Bamba is really good. For me, I think Jokic is better than Penny Hardaway. Getting Tim Thomas the 3 is also a W. I don't love KG, but I know he's good. I just don't love the release, but as a whole, I think he's a really good card, and if you want to start him, no issues with that. Overall, this team is good, just needs a couple of small adjustments. But I would say with 200 KMT right now, I would just save it. Try to save it for next week so you can lock in next week's set. Now, next squad today comes in from Will 4K. Haven't been picked yet this year. Well, now you have, Will. Could use help with lineup construction. Says he's no money spent other than the pro pass. Close to point guard Jokic and small forward Josh Smith. All right, so we're going to include Jokic and Josh Smith. Jokic at the 1, Glenn at the 2, Josh Smith at the 3, Dikembe at the 4, and Wemby at the 5. Or Wemby at the 4, Dikembe at the 5. Doesn't matter. That's your lineup. Your bench. Who's your backup 1? Is it, honestly, you got to decide between Oscar and Haunt. Well, honestly, I like Dr. J a lot. I like Dr. J more than I like SGA probably at this point. So I would probably just low-key, I mean, I could take John Havlicek out of the lineup maybe, or put him in your last 3 or something, because I think I might leave the bench kind of the way it is, 1 through 3, and then like your 4 is Moses and your 5. Honestly, with the squad you have, I almost think starting Wemby at the, or starting Dikembe at the 5 and bring Wemby off the bench at the 5 or something might not be a horrible idea, just to give you more size off the bench. But I think Jokic and Josh Smith both start, honestly. So I think Jokic for the size, the 1, Glenn at the 2, Josh Smith at the 3 are your 2 go-to ball handlers. And then you kind of got to figure out what you want to do with your 4s and 5s, because my thing is Mikan, Moses, KG off the bench. None of those guys are true centers. Like, Moses can play it, but I think you're better off if you could try to find somebody with a little more size. There's that free Opal Wemby that you could go get the challenge for. You could go buy Artis Gilmore. I just think you at least want one of those guys in your last 3. At a very minimum, you want to have one of those guys in your last 3. The rest of your squad is really good, though. Just kind of got to decide who you like more between Hondo and Dr. J. Maybe if you start Jokic, Glenn, and Josh Smith, you bring Penny and Hondo off the bench if you like that duo more than Oscar and Dr. J. But just got to figure out that big man spot. Make sure you have another option. But overall, I think this team is really good, especially once you get Jokic and Josh Smith in the lineup. So third team comes in from Caravaggio. Has nothing. He's got like no MT, no nothing. He says not sure who to run where, but he also has Mike and Curry and Butler and took Emeka off the squad. Okay. I don't know why you took Emeka off the squad. I'm going to be completely honest, because Jokic Wemby, you don't really need, because you have Jokic Wemby, you don't need an absurd amount of size in your front court. I would run Mikan at the 4, Hakeem at the 5. I think this Ewing card's releases booty cheeks. For me, Mikan he's your best power forward you have. So Jokic, Wemby, Glenn Rice, Mike, and Hakeem would be my starting 5. Off the bench, SGA, Dr. J, LeBron is great. The 4 and the 5 is the question for me. I would go Emeka at the 4, and then I would try to personally save MT to go get, or you could go Boogie at the 4 if you do like Boogie more than Emeka. But you got to get some size at center. So for now, do that Opal Wemby challenge. Get that card, throw him in as your backup center so you got some size. If you want to keep another big, a smaller, faster big in your last 3, somebody like, again, Boogie or Emeka in that last 3 to sub in as well if you want, so you don't have to have the tall. Well, I guess you can't run Opal Wemby because you have the dark matter. I'm tripping. Never mind. So Opal Wemby's not an option. So maybe it's an Artis Gilmore then, probably, in terms of a viable player that you can get. I just think you could use a little more size off the bench. Having a guy with that type of size will, again, help. As a whole, though, this team is good. And with a little bit of rearranging, taking you in out that lineup, putting Mike in at the 4, and then figuring out your bench bigs just a little bit, you got yourself a heck of a squad. Did not mean to do that. This is the next squad, I believe. Correct? Yes. Jinyu says he's been playing on this account for 2 weeks, and he's got 120 KMT. Looks like he did buy the pro. Well, no, it does not look like he bought the pro pass. This is a no money spent playing on the account for 2 weeks team, by the way, and his team is amazing. Just goes to show if you play the game, you can still build a really good squad. Now, with this team, I understand Shaq at the 3. The size that card provides is nice. Kyle Kuzma is much better, in my opinion, as an overall 3. It would be really nice if you had point guard Jokic, but I get it. No money spent squad. Don't want to buy the pro pass. I understand that. Your weakest spot on your team, though, is definitely the point guard position. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure how you can address that right now because a lot of the best like free point guards in the game and stuff are not currently available. Like at the point guard position, I just don't know if there's really that elite level option. So Jalen Green, Eddie Jones, I don't love those cards, but they will, I guess, hold it down for the time being. And I mean, if you don't have point guard Jokic, it's like SGA is not available anymore. You know what I mean? Penny Hardaway, is he still available? Maybe you go get Penny if he's still available. I'm not even sure if he is, though. Clyde is really good, but also not available anymore. So, I mean, you know, if you're playing unlimited, you could go get the unlimited option pack and pick Clyde. That wouldn't be a terrible idea just to give you a point guard upgrade. Because the problem with this team is there's not a lot you can do. Like, with the squad you have, I would slide Kuzma in there somewhere. But you need point guards. And it's hard to find point guards right now with the way that your team is. This is a really good no money spent team, though. I respect it. 2 weeks in, and he's got this squad. He's cooking. And once he gets a point guard or two, his team is going to be souped. But honestly, the only thing you can do right now would be go get unlimited for that Clyde Drexler. Because I don't think there's any other better point guards you're getting right now. With that being said, another guy, maybe you go get that free Larry Nance, free Rick Barry at shooting guard over Kawhi. Like, there's a couple guys you could grind as well that would help your team. But for right now, honestly, you probably just want to save MT so you got MT to lock in next week's set. Hopefully, try to attain a point guard whenever one is made available. All that type of stuff. Ghost Shell is the second last squad today. Only thing he says he spent money on was the Pro Pass this season. And he does have point guard Jokic with Dr. J, John Isaac, Kwame, and Embiid at the 5. Your problem is, again, lack of size. That's the biggest problem this team has. You need to go get that Opal Wembanyama from that challenge and the free Opal Wemby and throw him in your last 3 at least so that you have a bigger center you can use to counter the size that you're going to play at times. Outside of that, I don't love Harden as your backup point guard. He's just really small. And not an elite defender at this point either. Even if you wanted to spend 42,000 MT on Pink Diamond Jeremy Sohan, which you don't have the MT right now, but making 42K is not hard, that might be an option. You just need more size right now, I think, and a little bit more defense at the point guard position wouldn't hurt. I'd like having Tim Thomas at the 3 as a shot creator. Maybe you start him over John Isaac, but then that limits your shot creation off the bench. I don't know. You just really need size right now at the center position. Free Wemby's a good option. Saving for another big or a point guard upgrade is also not a bad idea. Just got to get more MT. Definitely don't spend your MT on packs. That is what I will say to do. Grind the game, but don't spend your MT on packs. Save it so you can get stuff that will actually help your squad. Final team today comes in from It's Me Riley. Says he has about 200K when the video uploads. His picture is like literally hurting my eyes almost, but it's not as great of a squad, I will say. That's totally fine. His team isn't terrible. You know what I mean? It could use some work. I will say, this is the type of squad where if you grind out Larry Nance, he's going to be a massive small forward upgrade for you. He's your new best starting small forward. Bring Pippen off the bench. Larry Nance would be a big upgrade. That free Larry Nance. Additionally, another big upgrade you could make would be grinding for Serge Ibaka from Clutch Time Offline. If you get him and Larry Nance, those 2 cards, you will really upgrade this team, I think, because Larry Nance can slide into the 3, Pippen to the backup 3, Serge at the 4, Bill Walton backup 4, and then you got to save MT. Don't open packs, save your MT so that you can buy a center. You can buy an Artist Gilmore. You can buy somebody who comes out next week maybe. 200K MT, to be fair, you will give you enough MT to buy a center. So I would replace Arvidas with Artist Gilmore. I just think he's better, especially if you put a 3-point shoe and a couple shooting badges on him. Now, your point guard position, Jerry West is 100 overall. He's not the best 100 overall. But again, it's one of those situations where it's like maybe you pick up a Pink Diamond Jeremy Sohan just to give you some more size and defense if you need it to replace Harden because of Harden being a bit smaller. But if you're a Harden fan, I get it. And overall, this certain team is certainly not bad either. So with that being said, that is where we're going to call it for today's video. Hopefully I was able to help some of y'all out. If so, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.